Thank you so much, and then thank you to everyone, and good morning to the viewers of ChannelOne TV, and good morning to the good people of Yendi. Well, let me start by saying I this morning want to dip my heart out for the majority leader of Ghana's parliament, Honorable Mahama Ayariga. In fact, yesterday's session was one that actually made every one of us so proud of him. In fact, we are so proud to have him as our leader. You see, the minority leader has a penchant for always using all means possible to make any point he wants to make, regardless of the rules. And you see, we are lawyers. And as lawyers, the most important thing you should know is that you can say anything you want, but you have to know where and when to say it. So that was the government of the whole drama at the vetting yesterday. It was not about what he was saying, but it was where and when he was saying it. That is why, if you realize it, the majority of them made a point that if he went out with his colleagues and brought all the media to himself, and made all manner of disparaging remarks, nobody will question him. But we were sitting as a wing of parliament, and we are guided by rules. And trust me, the minority leader is one person that you can never be when it comes to understanding of the rules. He knows the rules in and out. And so he knew what he was doing. You see, this whole issue started, like you said, on Thursday, when the motion was filed. It was a substantive motion. Listen to the drama there. Even the Thursday motion, he was not allowed to, he was not supposed to move it. The motion was filed, and per the rules, the speaker has to admit it before you are allowed to move it. It was filed, and it was declared as inadmissible. But what gave him the opportunity to move it was because the one who declined the admissibility of that motion did not preside at the very moment that he raised it.
Okay.
So he got up. There were the business statement, the business for the week. Usually, the business committee presents the business for the week, and it is presented by the chairman of the business committee, which is the majority leader. So he read the business for the week, and so he saw a fine opportunity, even though the motion had been declined, and he was not allowed to move that motion. But he used comments on the business statement or the business for the week as another avenue to still argue the motion that had been filed and had been declined. So like I said...
Oh, he had prepared his arguments.
Yes. But you see, it's been declined.
Yeah.
The speaker said this motion is not admissible. And once something, in fact, in court, once something is inadmissible, you can't even go into the substance.
Right.
So there was no basis for him to even argue on the motion in parliament. But you see, when a business statement is presented, all members are allowed to make comments. And so he saw that even though my motion has been dismissed, has not been admitted, I'll still argue the motion, regardless of the avenue or the route I'll use. So he used the opportunity to comment on the business statement, because the business statement had the same issue in it.
Indeed. The vetting of the CJ.
So he used that as an avenue to still argue his motion. And that was how he outsmarted the whole process. So he came back and argued the same motion that had been declined. That was what prompted, in fact, and usually when even the speaker himself is not in parliament, he's not sitting.
Yeah.
And he's around, he's mostly watching proceedings. So he quickly sent an emissary to the first deputy speaker who was presiding to tell him that he wanted to come and then make a statement on the issues that were happening. And so that was what brought speaker into the parliament. If you realize it, when speaker came to the parliament, that was the basis upon his coming there. So he came there and then went back to direct all that had happened and said that the statement, that motion had been declared as inadmissible. And so there was even no basis to argue on it. So we didn't even go into the substance. And you see, when he argued it using the avenue of the business statement,
the opportunity to comment on the business statement.
There were comments from both sides on that motion, even though we can't call it a motion because it was not presented as a motion. It was presented as grand commentary on the business statement for the week. But the first deputy speaker, who was presiding, gave a ruling on it.
Right.
Because it was, you can't call it a ruling because even the minority leader said he was not asking for a ruling on it.
Yes.
But he still went ahead and made his final remarks on it. The ruling eventually came when Speaker himself came to the chamber. And Speaker said this has been declared as inadmissible. So that's rough. Ended the matter.
Yeah.
See, if you wanted to raise the matter, then you should have raised it in Parliament, in the plenary, because you could have come here to raise it. But because once you raise it and it's been determined by the Speaker as inadmissible, it is inadmissible everywhere in Parliament. And when the committee is sitting, it's sitting as an extension of Parliament.
Okay.
And so there he comes again, seeing that this is another avenue to still come back with his motion. And some of these motions, if you see the words in them, because it is to attack whatever had happened at the Justice Mahama Committee, which saw to the removal of the Chief Justice. So he had prepared this, and he wants to use every means possible to read whatever he had prepared. And so he saw it as an avenue. And that was why the majority leader sought to protect. Because you see, once it's been decided by Parliament, Speaker said it's inadmissible, you can't come here and want us to talk about that issue. Yes, you have the opportunity to make preliminary remarks before proceedings actually start.
Yeah.
But that does not give you an unfettered avenue or opportunity to say whatever you want. Especially when that matter had been decided. And see, when he was even arguing in Parliament, he made reference to certain judicial decisions, certain precedents, which supported him. But the latest one, he left it out. The latest judicial decision on these matters, whether a matter before Parliament and before the judiciary, the court, can be a subject for discussion in Parliament. The latest decision is the Vincent versus the Attorney General. That is the latest.
What's the decision on that?
So I'm coming to it. You understand? It has to do with, one, it was seeking to restrain the president from proceeding with the commendation from the Council of State on the issue of the removal of the Chief Justice.
Yes.
And then he was also trying to restrain the Council of State. And so the president cannot go ahead and form the committee based on the finding of a prima facie case against the former CJ. But you see, there had been a precedent in Ghana where usually people rush to court and then file certain motions, file injunctions, and even by the mere filing of the injunction, it acts as a stay. In fact, in court, we have all used it. My clients have been cited for contempt. I have had clients who have been cited for contempt on the basis of the fact that there was an injunction filed, that injunction had not been determined, and they went ahead and were working. Such matters, they have been duly dealt with in court. But you see, the Visasafo case made a distinction between such general matters and matters that have to do with constitutional imperatives. So, for instance, when a constitution gives you a mandate as a president, when there's a prima facie that has been determined by a Council of State, you go ahead and form a committee, or if you like a commission, if you understand. That is given to you by the Constitution. Now, the question is, Parliament, we are told, is an arm of the state. Executive is one arm, judiciary is one arm.
Legislature is the other.
Legislature is one. Now, are we now saying that when Parliament is considering something and I want to stop it, I want to stultify the work of Parliament, I can rush to court and just file a proceeding. Remember, filing a proceeding is not the same as an order of the court, because it has to take the court to sit on that process that has been filed for an order to be made. Now, are we saying that before even the order is made, whether the order will even be made positively or negatively, the processes in Parliament must stop? That is a bigger question. In that case, even governance cannot go. Because remember,
can this be likened to the declaration of seats vacant by Speaker Gbagbo in the 8th Parliament?
So that was a ruling by who? The Speaker.
The Speaker.
But there has been a recent ruling by which one?
The court.
The court. So when you have a ruling from Parliament, contradicting a ruling
from the court,
which one supersedes? Because Parliament does not. It's the court makes final orders. That is why
the court makes the final order.
You understand? So the most recent one is the one from Visa Safwa. You understand? Which supersedes what the speaker had, because the speaker's ruling had been declared as a nullity.
Yeah.
You understand? So you don't go back to that ruling to now form the basis of your current motion or application, because in the eye of everyone, that ruling can no longer stand.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
And especially if you look at, in fact, if you look at J.H. Mensah versus the Attorney General, which happened in 1996, when Rawlings said that late, because he had ministers coming from 1993 to 1994 elections. You understand? And these ministers had been vetted in 1993, which gave them the opportunity to be ministers. Once he won the elections and he's maintaining some of them as ministers, they didn't have to go through vetting
again.
And Judge Mensah went to court and said that no, this cannot be the case. The Constitution says the ministers who have been nominated must come to vetting for approval. They must come before Parliament for approval. And so the fact that they were once ministers and they came before us does not mean that anytime they have been nominated, it's a fresh nomination.
Yeah.
And then you see, Judge Mensah added another relief. He gave the rundown of how the process should go in Parliament. Well, that's what most people don't get. So Parliament, the Supreme Court upheld his major relief, which was to the effect that the people, even though they have been renominated, have to still go through the process again. But they gave a caveat. They said that as for the process you have mentioned, they have to do this, Parliament has to do this. The Supreme Court said, no, we cannot have a hand in how Parliament will go about the vetting. Parliament can even just come out and say that they can just sit 1 minute and say we have vetted them. After the process, we can question the process. But the act itself can be questioned.
Okay.
You understand? And so go through the process. The outcome, when it comes out, you can come to court and we'll make a determination of the outcome. But as to how Parliament should go about its business, we as Supreme Court, we cannot go into it. And that was what the was.
That's some good